Hello, Chicago, and welcome to Issue Forum with your host, Audrey Avila. Today we have a wonderful show for you. We have with us in the studio Tim Egan, and he is a candidate for the 43rd Ward Alderman's office. Welcome, Tim.
Audrey, thank you very much. It's a very wonderful pleasure to be here. That's a tremendous introduction. I love the music. I thought Superman was going to come out through the curtain behind us.
Yes,
so.
maybe Batman for Chicago.
Fabulous.
Now, Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Tim Egan, running for 43rd Ward Alderman. I've lived in the ward for a little over 8 years now. I'm from Chicago originally, not too far from here. My grandparents came over from Ireland in the 20s. They settled in the Grand and Ogden area. My parents, both sets of grandparents were Irish. My mother and father met. They got married. They'd had 3 kids, and I was the youngest of three boys. So we moved to Cicero when I was born. So my formative years until I was about 23 years old, I was raised in Cicero. The reason why I'm in the 43rd Ward now is because of my lovely wife. She is actually raised on Scott Street, in the southern boundary of the 43rd Ward, and we live on Division Street. So she actually has lived her entire life in our neighborhood, which is part of the 43rd Ward now.
Wow. And how long have you lived there again?
A little over 8 years. We were married a little over 8 years ago.
And you have a family?
We have a family. Very proud Chicago family. We have 2 sons. Our oldest son is Wedge Donovan Egan. Little unique twist on the name there. My wife's named after Marlena Dietrich.
Oh, wow.
So, and her brother's name is Duke, and he's named after John Wayne. I'm a huge John Wayne fan. So when it came time for us to name our first son, you know, we came up with all kinds of great John Wayne names.
Oh, that's so unique.
And Wedge Donovan happens to be John Wayne's character name in a movie called The Fighting Seabees. So a lot of your folks who are watching the show are probably Googling that right now, trying to figure out which movie that was. But John Wayne was a World War II film, and John Wayne's character's name was Wedge Donovan.
Oh, wow.
So when we brought that up, Wedge Donovan stuck for our first son. So, and our second son is a 6-year-old son, a 6-year-old boy. And we couldn't just name him Bob, so we had to come up with something unique. After Wedge Donovan, we had to come up with something very unique. So his name is Tig Liam Egan.
Oh.
And Tig is the old Gaelic name for Tim.
Oh, I like that.
So yeah.
So he's named after you?
Named after me. And Liam, we thought that'd be a nice form of Lee. My wife's father's name was Lee. So.
And I hear you're expecting.
We are. Yeah, we're building the voter base by 2 more. So we've got twins on the way. It's a unique time. February 22nd is the election, and our twins are due February 15th.
So you guys are really rooted in the community there.
You can say that. We're very rooted. We're looking. It'll be my wife's 3rd generation of my wife's family that will be living in our neighborhood of the 43rd Ward.
Wow.
So. And
what do you do for a living now?
I currently serve as Vice President of Governmental Affairs for the Norwegian American Hospital that's located in Chicago's Humboldt Park, and I'm also Executive Director of our hospital's foundation. So,
oh, wow.
I've got 2 roles at our hospital, and I've been at the hospital for a little over 9 years now. It's a tremendous institution. We've been serving the Humboldt Park community for over 120 years. And it's a challenge. We're in a very challenging position. We're a safety net hospital here in Chicago, so there's never really an easy day.
Right.
But one of the programs that I started is my pride and joy out of an 18-year healthcare career, and it's a pediatric caravan. Basically what it is a 43-foot long truck, and it's a fully functioning clinic on wheels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we take this vehicle from school to churches to community center, tons of health fairs. We've provided services for over 5,000 children in 2 years. And
you started this program.
Yeah, I was lucky enough when I took over our foundation to be able to create this program from the beginning with a lot of help, obviously. We've got a fabulous group of supporters, financial supporters who are coming from private foundations. The original grant was a $680,000 grant. That was right out of the gate. One of my first grants that I submitted as the executive director of the foundation was for this pediatric caravan. And the institution that awarded us the grant wants to remain anonymous. So we really respect their wishes, but they really got this program in motion. and we've had a tremendous impact in our community. We're very proud of the service we provide, and it's all free for the kids in Humboldt Park. So we provide immunizations, physical exams. We have a behavioral health screening component. And in the beginning, what shocked me the most, being a father of 2 sons and 2 on the way, was the fact that we were taking cockroaches out of children's ears. And it was amazing to me that in this day and age, there were children out there with that need. And then it just kept growing. The behavioral health component, we put in a behavioral health screen where we ask kids these behavioral health questions, and if there are any red flags, we know to dig a little deeper. So we've uncovered cases of physical abuse, sexual abuse. We've even had a little 4-year-old girl who had a gang burned, an imprint. It was a gang emblem that was burned onto her chest. So we've enacted. We've called DCFS right there and on the spot. So we've been involved with arresting these caretakers who abuse their children. So these cases of physical and sexual abuse for children, we've been in the front lines of uncovering these and really taking action.
That sounds like a wonderful program.
It's I say this all the time that it couldn't have a more fulfilling career than putting a program like this out on the streets for the kids and the children in Humboldt Park. So very proud of it.
So why do you want to be alderman for the 43rd Ward?
Well, it's what I do on a daily basis at our hospital is just it's my next step. I live a life dedicated to service. It's service to others. I think you'll see a picture of one of my idols pretty soon here in your show, and it's a picture of Jesse White, our current Secretary of State. Jesse White has been a mentor to me. Undoubtedly been a tremendous mentor to me. And he says, Tim, before you go to bed every night, try to do something good for someone else.
Oh, wow.
So I've tried to live that model. And the things that Jesse White has taught me, and he's made such a tremendous impact on with his tumblers, with the work he's done in politics, and I can't find anyone who says a bad word, anything bad about Mr. White. So I'm very proud to have his endorsement. When I first announced that I was running for alderman of the 43rd Ward, Jesse White was the first phone call I received, and he said, "I'm with you all the way, Egan." And he says, "Loses for the other guy, and win is for you." So I'm very proud to have the support of folks like Jesse White, and he's a mentor again, someone like Jesse White who gives you that that spirit of service to others, and that's really the reason why I'm running for alderman. Our current alderman is named Vi Daly. She announced a couple of months ago that she would not be running for re-election, so I immediately, she announced at 12:01 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and I had a message out at 12:30 a.m. that Thursday morning, and our phone has not stopped ringing off the hook. So we've got a tremendous amount of support. We had a petition drive that was just second to none. We had many volunteers. We filed with almost 2,200 signatures.
How many did you need?
You needed 187, so we were trying to prove a point.
Yeah, you went over.
Yeah, we were trying to prove a point that we're very organized, and we have a tremendous base of support. But the real reason why I want to run for alderman is, my wife and I are obviously raising our family in the 43rd Ward with 2 kids and 2 on the way. We've got a tremendous stake in our neighborhood. So we really want to instill leadership that will be emulated citywide. There are things that really concern me as a parent and concern me as a resident, and these are things that I think I can bring the right type of leadership to our ward, and there's a lot of issues that I know I can solve.
What are the boundaries of the 43rd Ward, just to give, so maybe there are viewers that aren't familiar with it? I think we have it up on the screen now.
There you go. As you look at the ward, the bottom boundary to the southeast is Division and Lakeshore Drive, and that's the solid all the way up to north along Lakeshore Drive, down Lincoln Park West and Lakeview, goes all the way up to Diversey, so 1,200 south to 2,800 north. And then from that corner it goes west, it zigzags down Halstead, it goes a little bit west, and you'll see that one little corner there to Racine, and then it drops down, it goes a little bit to Southport, you'll see it, and then it zigzags then again down the bottom southwest corner, and then the most solid part is along North Avenue. So really the boundaries that I view the 43rd Ward are really by neighborhood association.
Right.
So in the 43rd Ward there are 9 different neighborhood associations, which are tremendous groups of community volunteers that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, because I am one. I've been a board member of the Gold Coast Neighbors Association now for several years, and one of the reasons why I think I can really do this alderman job is because I've been the editor of our newsletter of the Gold Coast Neighbors for several years now. So I think if you can pull off editing and publishing a newsletter for the Gold Coast Neighbors, I think I should go right from the aldermanic role into the UN, because there's a lot of mediation involved.
A lot of different opinions.
But it's a lot of fun because the people you work with are just tremendous. They really care about their community, and that's the most important part. And we know that's one out of 9 neighborhood associations. So I'm very proud to be a board member of the Gold Coast Neighbors Association. I'm also very proud of my membership in all the neighborhood associations. You know, we have the Old Town Merchants and Residents Association. They do a tremendous amount of great work along Wells Street. They host wonderful, fun events all summer long, and everyone looks forward to them. And of course, then there's the Old Town Triangle Association. They do the Old Town Art Fair, which was rated one of the top 10 best art fairs in the United States. So we have a group of volunteers that goes out there every year at 6 a.m. and we're on the traffic committee. So that's, I think, the toughest job. You got to get up at 5 and go out there and help the artists get ready for the Old Town Art Fair. But it's all of these neighborhood associations. We have many more. Last week was the Wrightwood Neighbors Association event. Then there was the Sheffield Neighborhood Association's annual spaghetti dinner, and we have the Park West community that we're involved with, the Mid-North, Lincoln Central, Ranch Triangle. We've got a lot of great neighborhood associations, and the reason why I like dealing with them is they really plant a flag right in the middle of their neighborhood.
Right.
So everywhere you go, you know, every few blocks you have a different neighborhood association. It's a different group of people who are involved with their community, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who do that. What
are some of the issues that you'd like to address in the 43rd Ward?
As alderman, my top #1 priority is safety. And that's public safety. I've walked the ward top to bottom, side to side, and one thing remains absolutely constant, and that's safety. There are people that are in our ward living in fear, and that's just not, you know, we don't want to talk about the amount of taxes that people pay, because that's irregardless of what you pay in taxes. We're living in a wonderful urban community. In my opinion, it's second to none worldwide. I mean, some of our neighborhoods and our zoo, our Peggy Noterberg Museum, we're second to none, in my opinion. That's why I'm raising my children here. But there's no need for our community not to feel safe. We have, and believe me, you'll find no bigger supporter in the Chicago City Council of our police and firemen than I will be when I'm the next alderman. I really have a tremendous amount of respect for our men and women in the Chicago Police Department, our men and women in the Chicago Fire Department. But our police officers right now, they're undermanned, they're outgunned, and their morale is at its lowest in possibly 25 years. So we've got to do everything we possibly can to reinforce our police officers. We've got to get more officers not only on the department, but we've got to get them on the streets so people can see their presence. And with that presence, you'll see the crime rates drop, and it's, you know, you'll hear about crime statistics going down and how they measure them. But the boldness of the crimes in the 43rd Ward is on the rise, and we've got to combat that rise. And I think we do that by putting more police officers on the street. So you'll hear me talk a lot about that in the next 3 months. About my supreme commitment to getting more police officers on the street and giving our current police officers the tools they need to combat this crime.
I know they were talking about taking police officers out of certain areas and putting them into, you know, maybe the south side. And I mean, how do you feel about that?
It's absolutely unacceptable. It is unacceptable as a parent of children. It is unacceptable as a resident of the 43rd Ward, and it's unacceptable as someone who wants to represent our community. I don't want to see police officers being removed from our 18th and 23rd districts. I want to see more officers put onto our police department, and that'll combat that, you know, the reduction in staff. We just, again, it's unacceptable to remove police officers from our area.